Time to learn. I'll show you a little about how the ignition and protections of a furnace work. Parts of a gas furnace. The electronic board and the transformer. The inducer motor. The gas valve and the burners. The pressure switch. The igniter. The flame sensor. The limit switch. The rollout sensor switch. The blower. All these parts together form the heater. We separate all the pieces to explain the process. 120 volts reach the board and the transformer. The transformer provides 24 volts to the board and the thermostat. This voltage is the control voltage. When the thermostat turns on in heater, it sends a signal to the electronic board. The electronic board receives this signal and begins the ignition process. As a first step, provide 120 volts to turn on the inducer motor. It also sends a 24-volt signal to the pressure switch. The pressure switch, via a plastic tube, is connected to the inducer motor, and when the inducer motor is on, it creates negative pressure. This closes the pressure switch circuit and returns the signal to the electronic board. When the electronic board receives the signal from the pressure switch, it sends 120 volts and turns on the igniter. A few seconds later, it sends 120 volts to the gas valve. It opens, allowing the gas to flow through. When it encounters the superheated igniter, it produces a flame, which spreads across all the burners. A few seconds after the flame is lit, the flame sensor detects it. The heat of the flames creates an electrical impulse, which is sent to the electronic board. With this signal, the board keeps the gas valve on and sends 120 volts to turn on the blower. The limit switch and rollout switches are connected in series and are safety protections. For example, if for some reason the temperature inside the combustion area rises too high, the limit switch opens, cuts off the signal, and the electronic board turns off the gas valve. The blower continues to run until the temperature drops. That's the function of the limit switch. Rollout switches do the following. For example, if a flame gets out of control and spills over the burner, the rollout sensor opens and cuts the circuit. The electronic board immediately shuts down the system to prevent fires. And this is how the furnace works.